Hi, it's me, Vamp, and welcome back to the Vamp Play podcast. It's actually been a while, but before I continue, I'm going to get sort of a housekeeping type thing out of the way, which is that I'm going to be uploading this in video form to YouTube. There should be some like chibi Vamp animation thing if you're watching this on the YouTube. If not, I have failed. Also, I'm going to be uploading this to my Vamp Plays my Warframe Madness YouTube channel, so I can shamelessly self-promote my Vamp Plays YouTube channel, because as of recording this podcast episode, we are one sub away from 500 subs on YouTube, and my goal for the end of the year was 1K subs on the YouTube for my Vamp Plays YouTube channel. Speaking of, however, on my Twitch, we reached my goal for the year, which was 4K followers, which I think is amazing. I just want to say a quick thank you guys for helping me reach that goal. And sorry it's been so long in between podcasts. If you guys hear my chair, it's a squeaky chair. But yeah. Okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys, originally I was going to do a podcast talking about the whole sponsorship thing, reality of sponsorships versus, sponsorships fantasy world, like people who just start out streaming or just start out making videos on the YouTube, the reality of sponsorships, brand deals and whatnot versus the old fantasy, I'm just going to message a company, then I say yes instantly, and then I'm going to get money. There's much more to it in most cases, but that's not the thing I'm going to talk about today. No. Stay tuned to the podcast. There'll be a link in the description below if you're on YouTube, where you can check out this podcast so you can be tuned in for future episodes. But yeah, the thing about this podcast that I'm going to be talking about is it has to do a bit with Warframe, okay? And then other stuff as well. But first, Warframe. Okay, so I haven't talked ever since a lot happened. A lot happened with Warframe related stuff. Okay, so I'll just run through it all super quickly, okay? So they ended the partner program, so I was not a Warframe partner anymore. Then they opened a new program called Warframe Creators, but partners were not automatically grandfathered in. We had to apply just like everyone else. I was waiting like super nerve-wracking amount of time. Finally did get accepted. Somewhere in between then, I did a sponsorship for Digital Extremes. Yes, I did a sponsorship for Digital Extremes. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll actually put the card top right hand corner to the sponsored video. I just have to say, it pushed me up and above with my video editing skills. I mean, it pushed me on to the next level. Things I didn't even think I could do. But anyway, I got accepted to the new Warframe creator program. So I'm a Warframe creator now, which essentially, I mean, they have different names, but I guess you could say I get some of the same perks that I did as a Warframe partner. So, take that as you will. And that's basically the rundown of what happened as far as behind the scenes. Now, there are some things that happened within Warframe. As you know, TinderCon happened, it came and left, it got postponed, then it had to be at home TinderCon for reasons. And then the update got released on all platforms at the same time, except for the Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, they had to wait 2 whole days after the fact to get their update because of the certification issue. For those of you guys that don't know, consoles have to go through certification. That's where basically Microsoft, Sony, and Microsoft for the Xbox, Sony for the PlayStation, and Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch all go through, all check, make sure that the game doesn't break the consoles or brick the consoles, as it were. And then after that, then they get the okay, then they can release it. PC usually is faster on the updates because they don't go through any of that process. But they made it so it could be released on PC, PS4, and Xbox One at the same time. And I think that was pretty cool. I don't know if that's how they're going to do it for future updates or not. I feel like they were trying something new, and it worked out very well. I was very impressed, for one. I don't know how many people were impressed or not, but I was very impressed. Actually, there was a moment in time where we didn't even know if consoles would get on the day because they sent it to CERT that Saturday before. The update came out Tuesday. They sent it to CERT on that Saturday. And Sony and Microsoft don't work on the weekends. So it wasn't looked at till the Monday, like the day before. So I was even shocked that it went through, but it did. I'm a PS4 main. Speaking of, I'm a PS4 main. I do have deep concerns about the PS5, and that is that that hasn't been confirmed or denied by Sony in any way, shape, or form, so we don't know. But they, at the bottom of one of, I think it was Ubisoft's listing, they said compatible games will be compatible. PS4 games will be backward compatible on the PS5, hinting that not every PS4 game will be on the PS5. And I do not know what I feel like about that. Actually, I do know what I feel about that, and I do not like it. It seems not good at all. It seems like things are not going to be good when it comes to that. I could be wrong. I could be deadly wrong, and it could be an amazing thing, and it could be fully backward compatible and everything with every game. But that gets me thinking, what about Warframe? Will Warframe be backwards compatible with it? Who knows? I guess we'll have to wait and see. That no use worrying about the unworryable, but it's just one of the concerns in the back of my mind. So I guess we'll wait and see what happens. Worst case scenario, I'll have to keep my PS4 and have a PS5 just right next to it, just sitting there. So I'll have a PS4, PS5, and a Nintendo Switch, like all next to each other. and whatnot. Which I guess, if I gotta do it that way, I gotta do it that way, but let's hope I don't necessarily have to do it that way. But then again, maybe that's what we do hope. Um, okay, we don't hope that. The reason we don't hope that because I just found my PS3 not too long ago, and then I turned it on. I turned it off almost immediately because after playing on the PS4, the PS3 is just so slow. The interface, it's just, how did I put up with it for years? What's wrong with me? Okay, but I feel like that's how everything is technology wise. If I were to go back to something from like years ago, even though it was revolutionary at the time, it would be like me waiting around forever for it, which just seems very crazy now that I think about it. Okay, so let's continue on, shall we? What am I continuing on talking about, you'll ask? Well, good question, and I have a good answer for you guys, and that is we are going to keep talking about the fact that Warframe, hopefully it works out on the PS5 and the Xbox One X, which, speaking of that, as of recording this podcast, all I know, Sony could announce something in the next few days, but as of right now, Sony had not announced anything, but there's apparently going to be an Xbox Series S to go along with the Xbox Series X, and apparently the Xbox Series X is going to be about $500, and the Series S though is going to be about $300, which is crazy if you think about it. $300 for a next gen thing. The only thing about the Series S is that it only have 500 something gigabytes storage, and that seems very slow. I mean, not slow, very small for next gen games, and it's going to be able to play every game the Xbox Series X can play. We just don't know how powerful of an engine it's going to be. It's going to be able to upscale to 4K, and it's going to go up to support up to 120 FPS. So that's frame rate stuff, in case you're wondering, and it said up to, so I guess that's somewhere between 1 and, but it's $300, and then that next gen platform. So I mean, yes, we'll have to wait to see how games perform on it, but honestly, I think this is a pretty smart move on Microsoft's end, because they also have their Game Pass and their Game Pass Ultimate that they just announced as well, which also will include EA Ultimate or EA Play subscription in it for free, which I guess is pretty cool. I mean, I'll be honest, I don't play many EA games, so I don't really know how valuable that is, but it seems very cool. But like I said, in the next day or so after I release this podcast, Sony could announce their thing and then start the pre-order, and I'll be refreshing like every whatever to try to get a pre-order for the PS5. Well, mostly. See, I'm kind of iffy about it. On one hand, I want to get it right away, but on the other hand, I've been burnt before. I've been an early adopter on technology before, and it's usually hit or miss. Sometimes the technology isn't like best in its first iteration, so you'll have to, you know, wait around and stuff. Like, okay, let me tell you guys about the PS4, for example. The PS4, when it launched, it ran hot, so hot that it melted some discs and whatnot. So yeah, that there with that. So yeah, that makes me a bit worried about that. But as a content creator, it is kind of within my job scope to have the console. So eventually I will have this console. Whether or not I have it from day one, I don't know. That remains to be seen. There's way too many variables to, you know, decide right away. But hopefully, you know, that's a dream to have it. But let's see what actually gets to be, right? The dream or nothing at all. I don't know why it said or nothing at all because it's not really a thing or nothing at all. And now I'm rambling because I really talked about the main things I wanted to talk about already. Talked about my Warframe Madness YouTube channel. I talked about my second YouTube channel, which, if you're on my Warframe Madness YouTube channel, there will be a card top right hand corner as well as in the description below. I wouldn't recommend trying to search for my other YouTube channel manually because there has been on YouTube an uprising of people creating so many copies of other channels and trying to trick people into subscribing to them. It's a big subscribe game on YouTube right now. Yeah, you thought all that would stop when YouTube made it so you'll have to have 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours watch time in order to, you know, get your channel monetized. No, that had not stopped people. Well, it stopped, okay, it stopped people from re-uploading videos willy-nilly, which is a good thing, but it hasn't stopped people from creating accounts that are the same name as other accounts and whatnot. And now I just start rambling to something different. I don't even know if any of this is what I originally planned to talk about at all. That's how lost I am in this whole whole thing altogether. Oh yeah, I guess I should mention that one more thing. I'm gonna be ending this podcast episode soon, but I do want to mention I'm not up to date yet, but I watched JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I finally got around to checking it out. It's actually good for two reasons. One, because it's not a bad show at all, and two, because I finally get some references, which is very good. I hate watching something and someone else laughing because they know it's a reference and they know the reference, and then I'm just super lost because I don't get the reference because, oh, it's a reference, but it's a reference to a show I haven't seen. But now I get some JoJo references, and the references are references. Yeah, I know, shocking. The references are references. Okay, well, with that said, I've rambled on enough. I'm going to end the podcast episode. If you're listening to this, thank you for listening. Hopefully, you got some kind of kick out of the podcast / caught up with stuff, Warframe and stuff. I can reuse the same title. I think I already called something Warframe and stuff. Maybe I'll call it Warframe and more stuff. Okay, well, anyway, and if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching. How do you like the chibi Vamp animation stuff? Yeah, with that said, I will catch you guys in the future. Thank you for listening / watching, and yeah, later.